Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel CodeBits. Today we will be learning about three types of variable declarations like var, let and const. So we will shed light on what are the key differences between these type of variables. So before beginning, let's discuss. I will give a little bit of background about these variables, variable declarations. Var has been in JavaScript since starting, but due to its various shortcomings that it posed later on in ES6, to overcome these shortcomings, let and const variable declarations were also introduced. So let us understand about var declaration. So the scope of the variables that are defined with the keyword var is limited to the functions within which it is defined. That means if it is defined outside of any function, the scope of the variable becomes global. So you can say var is a function scope or it's a global variable. So I hope you have understood. So let us look at this first code example. So this is the function a1 that I have defined, and I have defined a variable x with a var declaration. Then again I have declared a function a2, and here I have declared another variable named y with uh, using var keyword, and it has sent value 6. Now if I print the value of x, here what is happening, since var has been defined in function a1, it is function scope, means it is limited to the uh, it is limited to the this function, means here the value of x you can access in this function anywhere, but if uh, I print the value of y, it will uh, it will print as 6 because the value of y is limited to this function, as we have discussed that where the any variable declared with var is function scope. So that's why. Now if I call a2 over here, then it will print 5 and 6, but if I again print the value of x, it will print y, but if I now print the value of y, it will throw an error that y is because variable is not is undefined, because y, the scope of y is function scope is limited to this function only, so that is why. Okay, so let us look at the example. Suppose if I run this. Okay, now if you can see that first of all we are printing the value of x, it displays as 5. Now if you print the value of y, it displays as 6. Now if you again print the value of x, it comes as 5, but if we try to print the value of y, uh, it throws an error that uncaught y is not defined, because the value we have declared y as with keyword var in a2, so its value is function scope. This variable y is function scope in this keyword only, in this function only, so it is not accessible outside. But since x is defined under a1, it is accessible in the in this entire function. Okay, so okay, so let us go ahead and discuss what is let, and uh, how it is different from var. So let us discuss about let variable declaration. So let variable declaration, variables that are declared using the let keyword are limited to the block defined by the curly braces. That is the curly braces that you see over here. So let and const are like block scoped, as you can see. So let us discuss about let's look at this example. Suppose I have created a function where test var. In the initial I have declared a variable x with a var keyword, and I have put a curly braces, and inside this curly braces I have declared I have again reassigned the variable x with 9. Now if I print it again, and if I print it outside this curly braces, then let's see what happens. Suppose I will call this function. I will save this. Okay. So as you can see, I have declared x, I have assigned x 8, the value 8 to x. Then I again reassign uh, the value of x as 9. Now if I print x, it will print as 9, because as we have seen earlier, uh, variables declared with var are function scope. So its value will remain same throughout this entire in this entire function test var. So if I print this x two times, it will again print 9 9. It will not print x because the value of x uh, has been reassigned as 9. So it's like that. But now let's test. So I think it is clear with you. So now let's test about test what. Now let us look at the how let keyword works. Now here I will define another function test let. Here I will declare x as 1. But I will use let over here. Then I will use let as and then I will reassign the value of x as 3. Now if I print the value of x inside this curly braces and outside, then let's see what happens. As you can see, when I call this function testlet over here, and once I but once I print the value of x over here, it will print as 3, because the value of x, as we have declared x as let, and as we have discussed earlier, let the keywords declared with let keyword are block scoped, because and hence its value will remain uh, confined to this curly braces. So if we print x, it will come as 3, and if we again define and if we again print the value of x, since this earlier x is block scoped, its value will remain confined to this curly braces, and hence the value of x will be printed as 1. So this is the main difference between var and let. Var is function scope, while let is block scoped. Now let's discuss about const variable declaration. Now the variables that are declared with const keyword are block scope, means their effect is limited to the block defined by the curly braces. However, if the variables that are defined with const keyword, it they cannot be reassigned, means its value cannot be reassigned to them. If they have been declared with value 100, they will have to be they cannot be reassigned with another value within the same block scope. Okay, so let's look at one of the examples. Now if I have created a variable with the const declare keyword, and I have assigned value 50. Now if I try and catch block, we will discuss about this try and catch later in one of our tutorials. So if we put now if I again assign this num variable with value 100, and uh, uh, if I run this, and if I and I will catch the whatever, if any error is there, I will catch this error, and I will, if I print it, then it will show an error that invalid assignment to the const number. Okay, so here again it will print an output of 50 only, because the number const is block scope. Means suppose it is available outside, but the way the number that we have created in this block, or in this curly, or inside this curly braces, has effect within this curly braces only. It will not have effect outside this thing. So that's why it is a that's why it is called as block scope, and its value cannot be reassigned. If I try to reassign this number again with any other number inside this thing, it will throw an error. Okay, so let's try to print the value of this thing. Okay, and we will run this thing. Once we save it, okay, as you can see over here, now what happened is that here we have declared num as 50, and here again it's not, we cannot reassign that number, but since we are reassigning the variable num with value 100 in another blocks in this block, so it is allowing us to reassign that. Okay, and if we print this value, it will show as 100. So uh, if we print 100, if we are printing the value of num over here, it is showing as 100, but if we are printing the value of num outside of this block, it is showing as num it is showing as 50. So uh, this is the basic difference between the all of the three variable declarations. Like, so I hope these things are clear to you. And uh, another thing I would like to discuss is that we'll just comment this out. So here I would like to discuss another aspect, is that why we should not use var in the application. Is that because var attaches itself to the Windows object, and since it is only a single instance of a Windows object, so what happens is it creates a lot of problem, and it can cause a lot of discrepancies. So let's uh, go through an example. First of all, we will create a variable is equal to red square. We can assign some value over here. Now what happens is that this variable square attaches itself to the Windows object, and what happens is that even it can uh, it becomes universal. So now you can see that we get the value of 50, and this Windows object has got a lot of properties attached to it. So so why it is recommended that we should not use var, because it attaches to the Windows object, and if we are using any third-party application, and if any third-party application is also using a property or a variable with a square, it will then what will happen is that it will override this the value of this square or any variable that has the same name, and it might cause a lot of discrepancies. So it is advisable not to use var, not to use variable. It should be used in very rare cases. Okay, so I hope you have understood the difference between all of the three variable declarations, and we will soon meet again with another new topic of JavaScript. And thank you very much, guys. I hope you like my videos. So if you like my videos, please do subscribe and like the videos and share as much as possible. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.